I'm a widow. My husband died in 1976. His parents also died in 1983. Ours is a polygamous family between 4 wives. A succession case has dragged for over 40 years in spite of having a legal will. 2 brothers have refuted the will and have pronounced a cancel, which all the others have refuted. She's now 78 years old. She fears for her own family. How best can they resolve this?
All right, thank you. Actually, the word is codicil.
Codicil.
Yes.
Okay.
I just want to thank Rose for asking that question, because it's a true reality of what's happening on the ground. Mm-hmm. So we have many people who are from polygamous homes.
Yeah.
And at times when the head of the family passes on, he may not have outrightly divided the property, or better still put his house in order.
Okay.
Now there are 4 wives in this situation. The case has dragged on for 40 years, and the word codicil means that there was from the specific instance there was an existing will, a legal will,
okay,
which I assume had been given to an advocate. And so when the patriarch passed on, the family was called and it was read out. But 2 of her siblings refute and then produce an extra document to indicate that he made a correction or added something else to the existing will. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if they have gone, she says their case has dragged on for 40 years.
Yeah.
I wish they would consider going for mediation, because at times, when you're in the court process, the time frame is not in your hands, in the sense that you can be given a date today, you can appear today, and the next date is 4 or 5 months later.
Wakili, I just want to ask here and now. This question has bothered me.
Huh?
Why? Why do our cases drag for years?
Because the court diary is full. People are litigating every day. Everyone is going to court.
So do we need more courts and more magistrates? I don't know.
I would leave that question to the Judicial Service Commission. But I think that they're doing a good job in hiring more judges, more magistrates to help, elevate the workload.
But earlier there was a consideration of, having these cases dealt with at home. There was that proposal, if this can be done, mediation at home would serve in a better purpose for it altogether.
And I agree with you. If we took the route of mediation, you see, mediation, what happens is that both parties have to give. So the mediator is just simply sitting in to enable you find a solution. All of you have to lose something, and all of you have to gain something. Okay. And then once you agree, then that the agreement is put in paper and presented in court as a judgment of the court. So for Rose, I'd request her the next time they're in court to ask for court mediation, court annexed mediation, because what it will do, it will bring all parties to the table.
Yeah.
They may not agree on everything, but at least they'd be able to iron a number of things. So that if you had 10 issues, we can agree on 6. We may not agree on 4. Go back to court to deal with it. 4. What would have done would have reduced the time we'd spend in court.
Okay. So
for me, I'd really encourage her to consider using court annexed mediation as a solution for the delay. It's already 40 years. And I understand her frustration. But also what she can do is for her own household is to ensure that there is a guide. You understand?
Yeah.
So she can put paper, she can write a will and say, this is my share, this is my expected share from this estate. When it comes, this is how it should be distributed. So that the same scenario does not go through, her children don't go through the same problem. And if possible, discuss with the children, have them agree and understand that this is what she's putting in writing. And then, get witnesses, name it. Let it be very clear for the children. Whenever we'll get our mother's share, this is how we are going to divide it. So then there's no anticipated, we're not waiting for another court process. Yeah. So that would be my advice to her. It's quite unfortunate that they've had to wait that long. And I can imagine she's 78 years.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really bothered her. But Rose, we pray that the Lord actually
Amen.
provides a way for you.
Amen. Amen. He's a just God. We
Yes,
pray
he
that
is.
He
Yeah.
makes a way for you. All right. Before I'm trying to reach to the other question, but before we can talk about that as we progress on later on. We had, you had mentioned that there are different types of succession.
Yes.
What are they? What do they look like? What are the different types of succession that are available for us to consider?
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sharon. Now, there are two types of succession. There's tested or testamentary succession, and then there's intestate succession.
Hey, the words.
English.
Tested,
and intestate.
Intestate.
Yes.
All right.
So testate means that the deceased has left a valid will.
Okay.
All right. I'll explain why I'm using the word valid.
Valid.
Yeah, because then now he has put it in writing. He has identified who's the executor.
Yeah.
The will has been witnessed. He did it when he had capacity. He was not sick. He was not on the deathbed, or he or she.
Yeah.
So there's a guide as to how the estate will be divided. Now that he's gone, he had 2 cows. He has written, I have 2 cows. There's a brown one and a black one.
Yeah.
I have 5 children. So he can decide that 3 will get the milking cow and 2 will get the bull. Or he can decide the 2 are sold and the money is shared equally.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But there's a guide.
Right.
What you're simply saying is he has already determined who's getting what. And identified an executor to come in and execute the division or the distribution of that property.
Yes.
So in that instance, then the named person, the executor, would come in, file for administration in court according to the will. So it's usually a very simple process. There'd be a letter from the chief confirming that those are the children and that's the wife or husband, and then attach the will, the ID, the burial permit or the death certificate. But most of the time the courts would ask for the death certificate. So all those documents are attached, and the application itself. We file it, we make payment to court, and then we start the process. So once that is done, then it runs through the normal course, and within 6 to 9 months you have a confirmation of grant, and you move forward in terms of now transferring the property to the relevant beneficiaries.
Okay.
So that's tested. Why I was saying valid will is because a will can be challenged. All right.
Yeah.
Now there are different kinds of will. There's the oral will, which is only valid for 3 months.
Yes.
Assuming you are involved in an accident, and the kind of pain you're in, you're like, there's no way I'm leaving this place. So let me now divide.
Yeah.
Yeah. But after 3 months, you are alive. So
The Lord does a miracle.
does the miracle.
Amen.
And you continue being alive. So in that instance, then they would revoke the oral will. It no longer has value in that sense. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's more like a dying declaration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if God keeps you, please, then it is vacated. Then we have the written will, which is often used. And then we also have a privileged will, and the others, conditional joint wills. If you own property together as husband and wife, you can also do a joint will. But then now let's just look at the written will. Why is it important for it to be legal? What are we looking for to say that it is it's valid before the court?
Tell us.
One, you have to have capacity. A child cannot write a will. Capacity of age, capacity of mind.
Okay.
All right. Number 2, you should not be forced. It should not be that you have pipes running through you and your son is telling you, write the will, and you can barely answer the oxygen and he's pulling your hand and has come with a stamp. Undue influence, coercion would negate that will.
Okay.
All right. Then there should be no fraud or forgery. Maybe one of your beneficiaries knows your signature very well, And they have studied it, tell you, Dad, when they're saying it as a joke, Dad, I can sign, Mom, I can sign, see, it's just like yours. And then now they come up with a will, would have to authenticate the same. So if it was procured through fraud or forgery, then it's not a valid will.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it fails to meet the legal requirements, meaning there was no witness, there's no signature, would not accept that as a valid
will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, at times, there are people who are not able to sign because just because of literacy, and so they use a thumb. So we would want their thumb there. Others have very simple signatures. There was a transaction we were doing, and the documents came back, and we're told, please add the left thumb finger, so that no one can, because anyone can actually, others it's just a letter J.
Yeah.
So at times the different registries or whatever government offices would require that you put a thumb to authenticate
the will,
that it is actually you.
Yeah.
No, I'm just talking about documents. So if your signature is very simple, you can add your thumb. No one can get your fingerprint.
Yeah. It's unique.
It's unique.
Yeah.
To you. So that's it in terms of tested succession. Now, intestate, on the other hand, is where you die without
having said anything, written anything.
You don't write.
Yeah.
You are waiting on the Lord. You are living life to the fullest. That's a lot.
A day at a time.
A day at a time. Maisha is for living.
I tell you.
We thank the Lord. So that's how you're living, There's nothing in writing to say, this is how I want to distribute my property.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, and now what you're simply saying is that once I'm gone, I'd want the government to come in, because that's the only way we now bring in the government to try and arrange the affairs of your household and determine who will get what. So normally when we have clients who don't have a will, would request of them to have a family meeting, take minutes of what they have discussed, what they have agreed, identify the assets, agree who's taking what. If there was a pronunciation, remember the oral will we were talking about? Maybe 5 years ago, Mzee was having problems. You saw he was dying, but God added him another 5 years, but he had already made a declaration. And then you, as children, had already taken your positions, have developed the respective parcels of land. So what we're simply saying is, now we are putting it into writing as our minutes. So that, and we agree, because that's where the challenge comes in, the beneficiaries. Majority of the times we don't agree. Somebody feels, that house where Mzee was staying, I put tiles, I put the roof, I put a water tank. I even ensured that the seats in there are only leather seats. So because of my contribution, and when I was doing it, all of you said you didn't have money, I should get the house. In addition to whatever else was given. So you see now, from that perspective, already there will be a dispute. In the event there's somebody who's saying, I'm the last born, according to Kikuyu culture, I'm the one who gets the matrimonial home, for example. All right? So what you're saying is the parties need to sit down, have a meeting, put, list the assets, identify how you want the distribution to happen, agree. Before starting the process, please agree. Then after that, go to the chief, get the letter. Then now we file the papers in court. Okay? Yeah. You'll find that at times, and this question came in last week, where a next of kin is mentioned, like assuming it was a single mom or single dad and has mentioned the firstborn as a next of kin. So the next of kin feels that all the property is theirs and not to be shared amongst the siblings. And as I said last week, all you need to do is to have a meeting and just prepare, list all the assets, even the ones that are being distributed, the ones that are being, because you'll find the next of kin perhaps trying to transfer the property themselves. I know of instances where children, the parent is in the morgue, but they are busy selling shares. You understand? Because they have access. They're transferring money from the bank accounts. They're doing so. What I just say is that list all those things. When you list them, what would happen is that the court would ask for statements for the true account at the point of death. So if there's anything that has happened, whoever has transferred to themselves, whatever sale, we can now revoke the court. You can ask for the court to revoke or to have that person account for that money, or to refund. You understand? So that there's an account of the estate
Yeah.
Yes.
in that sense.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So those are the two kinds of successions that we have tested. Where there's a will, intestate. Where there's no will.
A quick one.
Yes.
When I write a will, who should be the custodian of where should I keep it? Where do I take it?
All right.
Once I have written it.
There are two main options that come to mind. One, you can keep it with an advocate. All right. So you go to the advocate's office and write, please go with witnesses. Okay, because there are cases in court where you'll go write the will at the advocate's office, and because you didn't come with a witness, the secretary who is outside will witness for you. She doesn't know the content,
Yeah.
but she'll witness. So if somebody wants to challenge that will, they can, because there is conflict.
Yeah.
My work as an advocate is to help you write the will. You come with your witnesses, let them sign. They don't need to know what you've said. We'll print an extra page for them to sign, so you can link the advocate. Number two is that you can write it, and then within the banking sector, every bank is offering safe boxes
Okay.
attached to your account. All right?
Yeah.
So if you have documents that you feel are very important, your will which you want to be kept, then you attach to that account.
Okay.
So you prepare it, but keep it in the safe box in the bank. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So in the in what? Intestate.
Intestate.
Intestate. In the intestate situation, how does the government how does the court decide what goes to who? Like, what parameters do they use to decide what goes to who?
So the court is always seeking to uphold equality.
Okay.
So one, they will not discriminate against any child,
Okay.
whether male or female. There are certain cultures, even my own father's culture, the girls are considered to be married outside,
Yeah.
and therefore have no right within the a right to inherit.
Right.
But under the Children's Act and under succession, a child is given preference. You understand me?
Yeah.
A child, so long as you can prove it's a child
Yes.
of the deceased. At times the deceased might have been buried, 6 months. Now we're like, so how will we know you're a child? They're all these other relatives. So we just go for a DNA test. So you, uncle, sister, brother, whoever, you'll go with this child to government chemists and have the DNA test done.
Okay.
And if there's a resemblance, then that child is considered. So the court will be looking at equality. In instances of polygamy, the court will look at everyone as a unit.
Okay.
You understand me?
Okay.
And now that brings a little bit of discontent, because the houses where a wife only got one child, and other houses, that one was able, God had blessed their womb, so they had 7. Plus her, they are 8. And perhaps they came later, so they didn't contribute towards,
Yeah.
the amassing of the wealth, name it. But they're the ones with the most children.
Oh my.
So you can look at two arguments. The court could look at it in terms of the units, or you could ask the court to consider contribution. To say, as a first wife, this property was bought 1, 2, 3, 4. We are asking that this property be considered for the first wife, because it was bought with the deceased at this time.
Yeah.
Here is a proof.
Okay.
Then everything else, now let us divide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are the need for receipts.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I'm
that's
always telling ladies
yeah.
and gentlemen, please, as you contribute under the influence of love, and it's not a bad, understand me. It's true. You know, when it's until there's a conflict, then you're like, but wait, how do I get back my money? You understand?
Yeah.
So at that point when everything is okay, please, let's find a system or a mechanism where we keep records. Let's transfer money from one account, and even put a comment towards this, or LR this is building, this is what, as much as you can.
Yeah.
But you see, most of the time when you're coming into marriage, you're contributing so that then it is for the well-being of the family.
Yeah.
Right.
It's for the well-being of the family.
Yeah.
So I'm not against marriage, neither am I saying that you should not trust your partner. No. What I'm just saying is that it's important for us to keep records.
Right.
Because seasons at times just change. And then the hard reality hits, and there's it becomes very difficult to prove the contribution that has been made.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Under the Public Trustee Act, someone asks or says, the Public Trustee of Kenya is a registrar of wills, and individuals can deposit their wills with the Public Trustee. Is that correct?
Yes, they can.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I was giving the option of the two, where I think you'd feel comfortable if you're using advocates, if you have a bank account, but you can also go to the Public Trustee. Yeah.
Okay.
And let me just say something about the Public Trustee.
Okay.
At the point of so there are instances where you don't have finances to engage an advocate per se.
Yeah.
But you need to have your property or the estate administered. The Public Trustee provides those services.
For free?
For free.
Oh, okay.
Only that, there'll be an affidavit from an advocate and the stamping. So maybe those are the extra costs and the back and forth that you have to do between the offices. So that is also available.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. Okay, we'll get to that later on, Kyoko, but thank you so much for writing in this morning. Let's talk about how do I put it? How do I ask this question? The importance of, or rather, some of the factors, some of the factors to consider when sustaining family enterprises for future. In your opinion, what are some of these factors?
So, thank you, Sharon, for that question. And ideally, what I just want to say is that we need to really be deliberate when setting up family enterprises, family businesses. We could start by a simple project of kuku, and it picks up.
Yeah.
And now the whole village comes to Kithinjiville or Kimaniville, to buy kuku. How we want to grow it, because you could be, you could really be successful and open several farms. But if you've not registered Kimaniville or Kithinjiville, kuku farm, then there's a problem in the event-days demise, because how do you take care of the workers, the accounts, name it. So I came up with a few, or what comes to mind in terms of how we should do it is, one, we need to start right in terms of the kuku business now is successful. Can we create a business plan around it? Now can we make it official? What's a vision? What's a mission? What do you want to achieve? Where are we going? Can we incorporate the business? Incorporating the business meaning, can we have it registered under the company registrars? Get a name for it. Get the KRA in, because then that helps even to open accounts for payments. Then put up a structure, have a financial management. Who is in the office? How is payment done? Who have you employed? Do you have contracts for the employees? The casuals you contract, how long are they there? Because, that's a whole story for employment matters. But essentially what I'm simply trying to say is that you have to have a clear governance structure. It may be the office at home. It doesn't have to be an office in town. But who is in charge? When a salary is paid? Who does the accounts? So that once one of you is not their husband or wife, then there's a sense of continuity. We don't have to close shop because now we don't know how the food was being bought. There are records, there's somebody who, even if it's me, I'm running the office, so I have a few things that can help me. So that when now we come to say the succession that needs to happen, is that it's already a registered entity. There's a structure to it. It's a question of who is managing it. Right.
Yeah.
So at the point of incorporation, you can incorporate it as a limited company. It could be that you're running an NGO, so it's a limited by guarantee. It could be that you're many partners, so it's a limited liability just depending on what vehicle you choose, but let's have the registration.
All right.
Also, ensure that your beneficiaries are able to know that what your share is. What's the structure like? Isn't it?
Okay.
Right.
Last week we were saying that a child should not just wake up and say, Dad, give me my share. Is this child interested in can they even clean the cuckoo house?
Yeah.
Are they willing to carry the feed? Are they feeding the chickens? It's important that you are able to identify, but also now put structure and say, in the event I'm not in, now it comes in the will. If it's it's one of those limited company. But assuming if you put it under a trust,
Yes.
you'd be saying they're trustees, then the objectives would clearly indicate what is the object of this business. How do I want it to serve the community or my family? How long should it be in existence? When does it come to an end?
All right.
Yeah.
I think you just need to hold the thought on the other side of this break. I'll be diving even deeper to know what are some of the things to consider just to sustain biashara as a familia. So you need to stay with us. This is Hope FM, where you listen and live.
Hope FM, another quality service from Christ, is the answer ministry.
The Business Line. It's just business.
Good morning. The Central Bank of Kenya has flagged 11
the things to consider just to make sure that we have sustainable enterprises for the family. Would you want just to, proceed with the thought line you had?
All right. Thank you very much, Frank. I would also want to indicate that we need to have a conflict resolution mechanism within the family business. Because you see, we are related, we are blood. And there's a high probability husband and wife bringing the fight to work. We fought at home, we'll bring it to work, it will affect the work. So there has to be a policy in terms of how do we fight? What are the terms? And if we are not agreeing, can we do mediation? Can we look for other mechanisms to resolve our dispute and not affect the family business? We already have examples in Kenya of how businesses, family businesses have been destroyed because of conflict. One of them that comes to mind is Trustees. It was just siblings not agreeing on the shareholdings, on the running of management, on, who's hiring who. This is my person, my spy. And, it trickles down. Eventually, the business comes to an end. So it's important for us to agree. We are running a business, but then there are rules that would determine how we resolve conflict. If we are having conflict, then let us step aside, and then also set boundaries. For the enterprise to be successful, I think it's important that we set boundaries. Who is managing? Who is making the final call? Are we making a call through voting? Is it... And this is really important, because then it shouldn't be somebody coming to say, I'm the firstborn. When I say you listen,
Yes.
and the decision would actually affect the business or the enterprise in a negative way. So it's important to set boundaries and say that this is our interest. We want to generate income, but we also need the business to be managed well.
Right.
So how do we set those boundaries? Perhaps get third parties to do the management, supervise the records limit, get auditors to do this, have audited accounts, pay your taxes. Because at times you even find a good family business comes to an end when one of the directors passes on because of tax. You didn't know that tax was not being paid, and you find yourself in debt with KRA. So when we put in these boundaries in terms of, yes, it's our business, but it needs to be managed professionally, then we are able to actually have a successful transition, like, putting books in order. Salaries, when a salary is paid, how do we engage workers? Even a child, even me as a director, assuming I was a director there, how am I engaged?
Yeah.
You understand? So that then it's clear in paper. So if anyone passes on, then I should not walk in and say, listen, it's 15th, give me money.
Yeah.
No. It's what's the structure? How does it run? When do you get money? So these are things that we need to think through as families and be so deliberate. It's tedious, I promise you. It is heart-wrenching. You'll disagree, but you'd rather disagree now and have the structure in place other than later on, when now we are dealing with the demise of one of our loved ones, and we need to take up the company, and decide what's the direction forward, and you're not agreeing.
Right.
Yeah. So one more thing I'd want is, or to add, is transparent communication. I think in families we have a way to understand each other. If I shrug my shoulders, you know what I mean. No, I'll carry, even without being conscious about it, I'll carry it to the office.
Yes.
And when I shrug my shoulders, you should understand. But what does that mean for the business? So can we have a sense of transparent communication in a way that every other month we have a meeting. We get to know, are we doing well? Are we in losses? Are we having profits? What do we need to change? What is our management strategy? Is there an employee who's not working, even if it was mine? Is there, because you see, if you have a HR who is professional, then there'll be no instance of me saying you are eyeing my person. There's already a structure, the expectations, there's a job description, so if they're not meeting the terms that have already been set, then we move forward. The discussion is very different, isn't it?
Yeah.
So those are the things that come to mind in terms of family-run businesses.
Speaking of communication,
Yes.
Kawira, is it advisable to communicate the details of the will to the children? I'm thinking, so that they don't come to fight later on. Can we settle now to Megawa he based on so and so, based on A, B, C, D, E?
Well,
or should it just be a surprise?
No. So there are two approaches. There are those who would say, I want to surprise my children. Either they are young, they wouldn't know, they wouldn't understand. There's no need of filling their minds with, let them work hard. But then there's an instance where you're running the family business. Now they've grown, they finished university, they're working with you. And you need them to understand that this business is up for. I want to give it to you. It's a family heritage. Now, subject to your shares in terms of the work you put in, the hours, your commitment, that's how I'm going to divide it. So you can have those family review meetings where you say, listen, this year I think you didn't perform well, and if you change it as a leader of the home, please make sure, or if you know, in terms of, if I communicate and say, John, you'll get 10%, Mary 20 because you come, and then Kamau you get 50, and then that's 80, so 30 remains for me and your mother, then fine it. So on the will on the document itself, just prepare a codicil to demonstrate that change. Okay? Because you have explained it.
Okay.
So assuming previously you had saying 10, but then there's somebody who has given more of their time, they're putting investments, they're bringing in capital, they're looking for markets, they're, promoting the family business. Then you'd need to, it's a ongoing conversation which needs to happen.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at times I've seen other families or parents I could be running one kind of business but has different arms, okay? So, and I have maybe 5-6 children, so I give them the different businesses to manage.
Okay.
So based on your success, you understand it?
Yeah.
So it is now, by the time I'm going away, you can read it's very clear, this is where I want you to work.
Yeah.
This is what I'm giving you. So if how you work it, it's up to you. That's your inheritance.
Right.
If you're not careful, if it goes down, please don't come back to the rest of the family. It's good. But also you as a parent, make sure that is very clear.
Okay.
Yeah, in the will.
All right.
All right. Someone says, I got married for about 4 years, got 2 children. They're now adults, but my husband died. It's 33 years now. The family asked me to live with my children, and we never heard from them. Currently, with my son's mental status, I feel like I need to go seek peace with them. Do we also have any inheritance from there? 33 years.
Wow. That must have been very traumatic.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. First, pole sana for being asked to leave. But yes, you can go back. I'd request that you go. Since it's on your heart to go and seek peace, please do. I don't know what you mean by peace. You're the one who understands your circumstances, but please go. Number 2, do you have an inheritance? Yes, your children have an inheritance. For you, I'm not saying you don't have, but you see, you left. You left. So ideally, in a situation where a spouse dies, you, as the surviving spouse, you have an interest, a life interest in the estate, the household goods, and in the estate. So you can get income out of the estate, from the proceeds of the sales, whatever it is. But now when you live, it's very difficult to access that because you have left it behind. But the children have a right to the share of their father.
Right.
So you can always go back and ask. Because I'm sure their father had an inheritance.
Right.
So just go and ask and say, for the sake of the children, can we have what is theirs? If they say there is nothing, then we can pick up that conversation later.
Yeah.
Sharon, you can share our contact so that we can see how best to assist
All right.
the listener.
All right, great. How do you resolve an issue like this, where one partner, wife and husband built a company entirely, whether it's the wife or the husband who built a company entirely without the help of the other, and for some reason they parted ways? So you were married, yes, but then you're the one who invested, the other party did not invest.
Proof.
Yeah.
Provide proof. Who registered it? Who are the shareholders? And that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
When we are building things in love,
Yes.
we have to be very deliberate. You understand me? With records. Because you could find that before you got married, you already had a business idea, you set it up, you are the director.
Yeah.
Then, because you're married, you change the details and say, please come in as a director, and you give out a number of shares. So even at the point where we are giving out the shares, you're able to determine the voting rights, the decision making, you're able to do that.
Yeah.
And then you also have proof in terms of how much has been put into the company.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying, let's keep records. Because then, so long as you're able to substantiate that I'm the one who's built this, and now you've parted ways, then I don't see what their contribution would be per se.
Right.
if they're not the ones actively running the business. You understand me?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's important that we actually agree or determine what was your contribution
Right.
towards this.
Wakili Kawira, thank you so much for your time. Our time is pretty much well spent, and this is where we wrap it up at. Any final remark in closing?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I keep saying succession is important. We just need to put our houses in order. There are mechanisms to do this. Feel free to reach out. We are ready to help you.
Asante.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time. We truly appreciate. And for those of us who are asking if you can get this later on, yes, such an insightful conversation. You say you can access this on YouTube at Hope FM Live. We will leave it there, share the link. Be impacted. Leave us a comment as well. And blessings to you, Frank.
Yes.
See you tomorrow. Same time and same place.
Bye.
Sharon Aitore Wangenye.
Favored Frank, bye-bye.
Hope FM.
It's now 9